Ladies and gentlemen, this video is about some of the worst flooding in American history that is taking place in the Midwest right now as we speak. It's about a major dam that has broken, and I predicted this would probably be the year we would see a dam failure after 3 years in a row of close calls. This video is also about corporate-owned life insurance, where a corporation can take out a policy on a $20,000 a year worker and then get paid $400,000 when that person dies. That is, if a $20,000 a year worker dies, the corporation gets paid $400,000. Now, first, give me a minute or two to explain that I'm sorry I haven't been online the last 2 days. And my computer is still running slow, even though I had to reset it the day before yesterday. I'm still fighting it and having big problems, so please bear with me during this video. But I wanted to say that, was it on the 15th? As you can see here, from about 9 a.m. all the way down to the 30. What I did was I was pulling videos on the Depopulation volcano in Mexico that has been going off pretty much since December 18th. As you can see here, I pulled tons and tons of videos. So I wanted to show how the volcano's just been erupting nonstop since the middle of December 2018 and is still erupting now. And that was when I ran into major computer problems, and then I had to reset my computer. And during that time, this video is also about, for like 4 years now, I've been telling you that if our bubble pops, it will probably come from the global insurance industries, because they're just like AIG from the 2008 collapse. They don't have the money. And I've tracked like $4 trillion worth of damage to USA public property and infrastructure in the last 3 years. But I also wanted to include that I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I don't know if I'm going to survive March or how long Thor News is going to be here. Now remember, I've sacrificed every single thing in my life, pretty much anything worth owning, to bring you guys the truth and try and unite people. And I know that I've been under fire for a long time, but over the last 3 days, someone, you see, nothing's working. Man. Okay. But over the last 3 days, someone is pretty much putting in, what is it, like about $10,000 or $11,000 into my PayPal account, and then they are drawing it down, and that I cannot access that money, and that when I've talked to PayPal, they told me A, that's just a glitch from their latest update, B, that I'm not supposed to be checking my account balance at the ATM, and C, if I had any more problems, that it was okay and not to worry about it. That was PayPal. All right, so the last 3 days, I've been checking. My account has about 11,000 to 5,000 in it. It starts at a high number and it draws down. I try and draw the funds out, and it says insufficient funds. I just try and draw like 200 out, 400 out. And as you can see, it says I have insufficient funds, but here it says I have $8,800. And so it's like someone is putting in a large amount to my PayPal that I can't access, and then they draw it down over the day. So it's like someone's laundering money through my PayPal account now. This is where I had to reset my PC. And so things are weird. things are definitely weird. And then when I reset my computer, first thing I did was try to update it, and it can't update. So yeah, definitely my computer's compromised. And so, we're still at over 300 rivers flooding, and I wanted to show here. Here's my PayPal account. It says I have $36. Here's my transactions. Clearly, there's nothing, and this is over the last few days. There's nothing that shows I have 10,000, 5,000, any amount of money. Yeah, it's not working again. Man, so, I just want to show everybody's names, but clearly, that I don't have that amount of money in my account. So things are very weird. And I got to say, PayPal was not supportive at all. Forget about it. It don't bother us no more. Anyway, I contacted a lawyer, and I'll cover that in another subject. But what I'm trying to say here is that, sorry, it took me so long to get into it. But yeah, I've literally been putting my life on the line for everyone for especially the last 3 years. But now Weather Twitter is pointing out these floods just remind me of how much the U.S. doesn't care about the plains or the Midwest or Puerto Rico or Hawaii or California. Here's various snapshots of different major news websites. Plus, we are drowning out here. Upwards of 50,000 people have been evacuated. People have lost everything. And the only thing the media's been talking about is the 50 people who got shot in New Zealand. And at no time am I trying to downplay the death of 50 people. But what I am trying to say, and what I've been saying since 2013, is that the politics and the media is doing everything they can to distract you from the weather. And remember that due to corporate-owned life insurance, and all the major corporations have continue to invest heavily in corporate-owned life insurance. So the same media companies that are talking to you about equality, that are talking to you about guns, that are talking to you about politics, they make money when the average Americans die. And clearly, no one makes more money off the shootings than the media. The media milks the shootings for every penny it can get. And so, yeah, even this morning, you have, I generally don't speak towards this narrative, but it has been blatantly obvious with this event. National news coverage of the devastating flood across the Midwest has been nearly non-existent. And it's not the quote-unquote media, because when California was getting just rocked and devastated, the media didn't cover it either. So it's not a Midwest thing. It's they don't want Americans to unite thing. And it's even, I'm sorry, it goes back to when California was getting devastated, the overall theory was California deserves it. But now this is the Midwest, which is clearly a conservative leaning Republican voting area that's getting devastated. And honestly, Republicans only care about Republicans. Democrats only care about Democrats. They don't give a shit about America, Americans. It's all a ruse, man. It's like what I've been saying. That's why I don't get into politics, because the super rich own the politicians, and they want to use them to distract you. And so I've been saying this has been the clear and present danger for 2 weeks. I literally spent February and the beginning of March warning you guys about the situation we would be getting into, and which will get worse until we get to hurricane season. So this video is mainly for the military, first responders, police officers out there. Let him who have wisdom understand. And so for anybody who's all super rah-rah, President Trump's doing a great job. No, he's not. Man, you have 300 rivers flooding. You have horrible devastation. This has been ongoing. And to not be number one focused on this is incredibly irresponsible. And I'm saying that as your planetary defense commander who has rarely criticized our president. And so if you are blindly stepping to either a Democratic Party or a Republican Party, they've got you, bro. Agent Smith has taken over your mind. Because if you haven't woken up yet, that like Fox News, they don't give a fuck about the Midwest. CNN, they don't give a fuck about the Midwest. They don't give a fuck about anybody, dude. That's what I've been trying to say. That at this point, there are a few deals that are trying to be worked out. And one of them is that 99.999% of everybody dies, and they're going to restart it with like 1,000 people from the richest families ever. Any depopulation plans will fail. But what I'm trying to tell you is that you have to realize that at this point, not a single government in the world has a medium or long range plan for its people. And that all of our politicians do everything they can to distract the public from the situations that matter. And that's why, like, I'm surprised I'm still alive. I'm surprised that I still have a YouTube channel, even though they demonetized me 2 months ago for no reason. But because, like, I'm literally one of the only people on the planet that has been trying to unite Americans. And all the people on the earth just saying that, look, man, it's like we were negotiating with the AI, with the old money 13, with the new hacker gang, with the super rich. The humans of Earth are negotiating for a quote-unquote new deal, and that we are not united. And so the media and politicians are distracting you with whatever bullshit investigation of the day, and this, like, oh, elite colleges. Like, we got to distract the soccer moms. And so nowhere do they even mention that America is undergoing some of the worst flooding in history. Fox ain't talking about it. Washington Post ain't talking about it. I can't even get them to pull up now. Oh, man. And so, yeah, like, really? I can't. Yeah, now my, can you hear me? It's frozen. It's barely even working. All right, so I don't know if it's recording. My whole computer has froze at the moment. So if it is recording, I'm going to continue to keep talking. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I just I need you guys to wake up. We make a difference. We make a difference. And so this event, this gun event, which happened 3 days ago, Minnesota, like, you have the worst flooding in American history. And they're either selling you the New Zealand, and it's New Zealand. They're either selling you the New Zealand story, or they're selling you the really rich mom paid to get her kid into college story. And that story has been 3 days old. And so you've got some of the worst flooding in American history. You have giant areas underwater. I mean, we're talking cities underwater, totally cut off, highways submerged, multiple towns submerged. Multiple areas, multiple states, multiple areas and multiple states submerged. And one thing is, there's no way they're going to keep the death totals low. Remember when we told us at Puerto Rico that, like, oh, only like 50 or 60 people died. And then they came out later and was like, oh yeah, we meant to say 5,000 people died. There's no way they're going to talk about death totals now, because they're getting everybody's attention with the death total on New Zealand. And so this is a clear and present American danger. This is the clear and present American danger I've been informing you guys about for a long time. And so it is crystal clear that the media organizations, the political organizations, whether they know it or not, they're doing everything they can to distract you. They're doing everything they can to divide you. They're doing everything they can to conquer you. And I think the lie is different in every level. And I know information is extremely compartmentalized. And so, like this one saying, it's like the majority of people are going to walk the plank if they get their way. That they aren't going to tell people, oh yeah, when it comes down, like in the beginning of the Joker, The Dark Knight, where he kills everybody who helps the heist. That when we got to this point where the old money 13 got disrupted by the new technology 6, it's like we have not found any agreement. And that's what basically like Brexit kind of is. When the United Kingdom pulled out of this fiat currency, and it was a time where we are now supposed to be working on a system that will last for all people for the next 1,000 years. And it is possible. Earth provides everything in mass abundance. And so the people, and it's ironic that the people are using the old technology to keep us glued to an oil and war system. I have told you pretty much since the beginning of Thor News, everything in this world is based on the price of oil. Everything in this world is based on oil extraction. Everything in this world is based on continuing war. And so, I don't know if they do get me, if I do die, A, this world really wasn't much fun the last year anyways. And B, I go out an all-American hero. I go out, I gave everything, I gave my heart, I gave my soul to unite the people. And thank God and Jesus Christ for giving me the strength. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't know how often have I been totally right? And I know it's hard to give up the beliefs that define you. But if we don't unite as Americans and as Earthlings, we are fucked. We are fucked. Now, there's still a lot of hope. Technically, I knew it would come down to this. Remember, I've been talking about the grand transition since the late 90s. I've been talking about this grand transition for over 20 years. And I had said before, a decade ago, one of the big problems would be when the 80 or 90-year-olds, you know, like Herbert Walker Bush, Henry Kissinger, guys that age, when they start to die, their children who inherit their old money fortunes are going to be one of the problems. Just saying that they're going to think they're the new gods and they're going to be okay with fucking up and destroying everything. And it would be like Mars all over where everything dies. But we don't want that. And I think we will win. And I think clearer heads will prevail. I think more and more people are seeing the truth. And that, you know, and it's a scary thing about, I don't know how many other channels out there are really pushing for unity, especially in the truth community. How many of them are basically trying to say, look at how great of a fucking scientist I am. Look at how amazing I am. And look at how many are saying, we need to unite. Because I know, you know, there's there's a GSM MAGA component. And it scares me because it seems like they want 99.9% of the world to die. And they're just going to repopulate it with like 10,000 MAGA people. That's a bad idea. And Jesus Christ would never want that shit. So I'm just saying, think twice. And I know that I have been undergoing nothing but trouble for the last 2-3 years. The chintz has been undergoing nothing but trouble. Right? You know, I've been in the game 5 years. Did you see me throwing some convention where I get to invite a lot of people, cool people, and we just get on stage and we talk and yay, everybody celebrates me? No. You know, how are some of these other channels not ever having any problems and just doing great? You know, I don't know, man. Just be careful. Be real careful. And all I'm saying is at the end of the day, we have to unite or we're going to get steamrolled. I know the nihilists out there are like, yay, we're going to get steamrolled. No, we're not. No matter what, I'm going to tie. I'm not going to lose. Anyway, I probably didn't say this as clearly as I wanted, but like I said, dude, I've been under more stress than you can imagine. There's been more fucking weird shit that just happens. But hey, I was built for this. I was born for this. I am your all-American hero. Yeah, I'm probably the best leader we have on the planet right now. And the solution is, was, and always will be, we have to unite. The whole cavemen divide and conquer ain't working. And the funny thing is, they're all super cocky. Like, oh yeah, we are duping the people. Yeah, dude, you're using the old tactics. And that's the whole thing is, just because you dominated a deception, oil, and war economy, that doesn't mean you are a grand transition master, right? That doesn't mean you're more powerful than the oceans. It doesn't mean you're more powerful than the sun. So you're cocky because of all the shit you inherited. That, like, the system, the very system that is on its last legs, which is like, oh, wow, in a late stage fiat currency, look at how much money I'm making. Look at how much I'm deceiving the people. You know, it's like, you didn't do that, dude. Like, everybody else did that for thousands of years, and you just happen to be the guy who got in at the end. And if you don't do the right thing, everything will fail, and everyone will die. And it'll just be a giant reset. So, I know, for all the Brexit, and another thing I don't know if you guys saw, but during the Brexit, France, did you know France owns the biggest bank in the world? Okay, France rolled out all these drones. They're like a Minotaur drone and a giant snake drone, giant spider drone, just to kind of scare people. But yeah, no, but it would everything would break down to a big giant drone war, rich families versus tech families. And so I'm just trying to say that's not, the hard truth is that both sides of the media, right and left, both sides of politicians, they ain't watching your back, man. They ain't watching your back. And the only thing we can do is unite. So God bless everyone. And your contributions, 10, 50, 20, 100, I think 100 is the most I've gotten in like 6 months. Although I appreciate it, and any contribution, dude, you are keeping me alive. You are keeping me in this game. So any contributions anyone is willing to send, remember, A, I'm pretty much one of the only teams out there pushing for unity. And B, I'm cool. I'm so cool. So even if these are my last few days, I'd like to enjoy them. Okay. You can leave my PayPal link. But I don't know. Everything's just fucked up. And I love you. Okay, everybody. Peace out. And, you can down thumbs or unsubscribe, but it's like, dude, okay, that's fine. I keep telling you the truth. And I told you we'd be in this situation for 6 weeks, and here we are. What are we going to do now? Remember, hurricane season's only a couple months away. And I put my faith in the good men of the Air Force and women of the Air Force, the Marines, the Navy, the Army, the National Guard. I know somehow you guys kept me alive. But that you guys will be. You are on the wall. And they're doing everything they can to build up their drone armies so they ain't ever got to answer to any humans ever. And so just do what you can to keep us safe, please. I love you guys. God bless everyone. We'll make it through this together.